Politicians are like militants. You need to strategize. If you apply a wrong political strategy, you'll get a wrong political results. Compensation for developments on the piece of land is simply our president's generous gesture, demonstrating how human Zimbabweans are. And it is a position that has been taken by the president after interrogating the enemy's position. The enemy of people of Zimbabwe, which is the colonialists, backdating to the period of 1884 when people decided on their own to partition Africa to augment their economies. So in 1980, when we got our independence, the enemy did not rest. He actually employed the education system, the imperial education system, to proceed with the same war. And you will find that those who got educated in the West, I'm not saying it's wrong, but the quality of education was not meant to help Africans. It was meant to help those whose institutions the people went. So the war proceeded up to until Zimbabweans were forced to accept the economic structural adjustment program. People want to understand that the economic structural adjustment program was a way to put Zimbabweans at a corner, to destroy a sound economic structure. Remember, in the 1980s, you would take $2 to a bar and you would come up drunk. But today you are wasting far much more than that. It is because the former dispensation accepted the economic structural adjustment program. It was meant to put the future leadership at a corner. The president is compensating them because it is a game changer issue. Shall I not compensate these people and then people have a talk about the new dispensation failing to respect the constitution? Shall I not pay the white farmer and the international community considers us rogue? So the president is in between. In actual fact, he is paying criminals who took the land from his father, knowing very well that he did, but he is saying, let him get his sweat. But in return, they should understand that we are a member of the international community. That way, economically, will assist us to have our economic grow because the international community will have, I want to believe, that they will find logic in the government of Zimbabwe paying the white farmer, the white men who stole from my father, but we are still prepared to do that. There is no other leader in this country who will ever do that. So if it succeeds, that by virtue of paying these people because we've been put on a corner, the international community will accept the Zimbabweans. That way, it will assist. How do they come to 10 billion? Let's have a breakdown. Let's justify. How did they get to 10 billion? Remember, we are talking about the white men who came into Zimbabwe. You must remember the Jameson raid, maybe, for example. The Jameson raid got gold from the black people that was meant for our chiefs and kings, but did not surrender it to the authorities that were responsible of the pioneer column. So these are criminals we are talking about. If they talk of 10 billion, it is simply a return of it is slavery. It becomes a slavery. that we should work to pay them for what does not belong to them. Remember, white men believes in conquest. All what they want is to conquer the black Zimbabwean, and they use them. We must have justification of the 10 billion. How do we get to 10 billion? How do we get to 10 billion? We are not prepared. Nobody is prepared to be exploited anymore. But let there be an individual justification of individual farmers of what he says is what was development on that farm. No one had developed anything. I'm coming from a farm. Come and see the substandard buildings that are there. How do you want to justify? There is no building like a building that you find in Harare. So how do you justify that? However, be informed that they have title deeds, not of the houses, but of the whole farm. So the value of the farm is far much less than that. Unless if he's talking about the value of the farm, which is title deeds probably, that such a figure can get there. But using what rate? American rate. This is Zimbabwe, my dear. So requesting Zimbabweans to pay US dollars 10 billion is simply recolonizing Zimbabwe. I don't think that is acceptable. It is irresistible. Let them come to Zimbabwe. Let them come back to their farms and look at what they have done together with us. And then we agree. The white farmer who was on a farm that I occupy today, let him come back to me and then we talk about the value of what he has done.
Yeah.
And then we register at a central point as farmers. It will never get to 10 billion. Never ever. I'm not even sure whether we will be able to get to 53 million. But government is offering 53 million. Let me tell you, it's important for white farmers to accept what the government is doing. We will get to a stage where they will not get anything out of it. Because this is an argument. And surely, because we are now on the farm, we will simply leave them. They may not get anything if they continue arguing with the government.
Are you not the ones who destroyed the farms?
No, that's an allegation. That's an allegation. The white men had substandard buildings on the farm, but because of time, you can't expect a substandard building to still be in a sound state. It's not us who destroyed it. How do we destroy it? I am a tobacco producer. I cannot destroy the buns that I'm using. But because the building is aged, if it was built in 1933, you cannot expect that building to be sound. You also want to understand that the rule of evaluation, as a building ages, it is devalued. So the building, which is the oldest in the farms, is of very little value today because of the devaluation principle.
I think what is also important is that when there's a development that is done, especially in terms of infrastructure, the law of the land requires that someone brings a plan. And I think the authorities have plans.
Sure.
That if a white person claims that they built a house that is like this, there's a plan which was approved and it can be seen what was used there. So I want to thank you for this. Do we have another question? I think it's clear. Then the independent.
That's reversing the land reform program, and the president is on a record as saying the land reform program is irreversible. And it is constitutional that government pays the developments, not the farmer. So the farmer is not obliged to pay. If that law would be amended, that would be best, because it is not in the best interest of the people. The people of Zimbabwe cannot be recolonized because of the question of land. The question of land is a long outstanding contradiction between the colonized and the colonizer. So if people continue in that direction, what it means is that they are re-engaging the disengaged forces of the revolution. People will have no option but to continue with the principles of the revolution. The revolution to people of Zimbabwe, as long as you are talking about land, every person is committed to die for the land.
Okay.
Surely, it is not a priority at all. It is not a priority, because giving it a priority simply means that we are giving in to all other interests of the people. The people of Zimbabwe need to grow their economy, but government is trying all it can to pay these farmers in the best way the government can do. So really, for it to be a priority, it means we've brought down to, we are given in to be slaves. It is a dilapidated old farmhouse, you can see, and that old building, unplanned, cannot cost anything more than a few thousand. And I'm talking of, say, 3,000, 4,000 for that house. And the barns that I have cannot be valued. You can't value a building that is in that state, that is in that standard. How do you value it? It has no value. It's valueless. So they are simply confirming that the white farmers are criminals. What I would want to tell people of Zimbabwe is to come and celebrate what they've done for themselves so far since independence. It's not little, it's much. We have achieved to bring back the land to the people. We have achieved at least to have a government, and a sound one after removing Mugabe, in the sense that the present leader is a leader of the people, a servant of the people, and he has always said the voice of the people is the voice of God. The president has called for a non-violence policy. It has never happened. We have had elections that are exceptional, in that all the whole world was asked to come to Zimbabwe to observe the elections. So really, it is important to celebrate what we have achieved. If you don't do that, pachishona vanoti nembeni tokurudzirwa nemuridzi wayo. In other words, it is you who should celebrate what you have done for yourself, because nobody will ever do anything for you other than yourself. So I want all war veterans, I would want to urge all war veterans to come to the stadium. I would want everyone else, even MDC members, because the independence is not ZANU-PF independence. It is the people's independence in a country where you also find an opposition party. But the opposition party existed because the ruling party had brought independence, which made them able to be in existence. ZANU-PF, ZANU was banned by the white men. ZAP was banned. So really, if it was not for this government, if it was not for the people, MDC would not be here. We would simply go to parliament and ban MDC. But because it is an independent country, democratic country, let's come and celebrate together. Let's come and celebrate together. What we fought for, not much has been achieved because of the old dispensation. The old dispensation leadership did very little. In actual fact, they worked against everything that we fought for. So the economic emancipation was delayed. All war veterans, every war veteran that you see who was trained, is a specialist in his own area. And there was this principle that the enemy state machinery was supposed to be replaced by the people's state machinery. It did not happen. And continuing with the enemy state machinery for 39 years, delayed or deleted even the process that was supposed to be taken in order to achieve the objectives of the revolution. So 39 years after independence, I think the 38 years was a wasted time, because the principles of the revolution were never followed by the former president. He did not. So really, it was a waste of time. A non-violence policy. It has never happened. We have had elections that are exceptional. When David went to war, he had a stopover before he got to the NMC camp. But he left some forces there who, some of them were injured, others were probably not of the idea of going to war, like MDC might not have gone, some of them might not have gone for war. But when they came back, the forces that had accompanied him, that had fought the war, asked whether it was prudent for those who remained behind to enjoy the spoil. And he said, yes, they should. They should benefit. Because when you go to war, you don't go to war to fight for yourself. You fight for the people. And those are the people that we fought for. Let them enjoy independence. ZANU-PF spearheaded that revolution, spearheaded that war, but not for themselves, but for everybody else, including people from MDC. They are Zimbabweans. Let them come and enjoy the independence. And I want to assure you, I know that 90% of the families in Zimbabwe have lost a relative, a price that was paid for the independence. So everybody must come. We paid for it together. Well, people must not expect me to contradict myself. I've done what I've done. The country is liberated. I was in sound mind. I am still sound. So the insane can take it back if they want, if they can. But I can't. Don't tell me to undo what I did. But that they can do what they want to do, because what I did is to bring about independence. If they don't want independence, then let them do it. Nyika yedu ya baba Zimbabwe, nyika yedu ya baba Zimbabwe, nyika yedu ya baba Zimbabwe, nyika yedu ya baba. Vakomana tichafara taitura Zimbabwe, nyika yedu ya baba Zimbabwe, nyika yedu ya baba Zimbabwe, nyika yedu ya baba. What we really meant was that it is an inheritance. Zimbabwe belongs to everybody. It is not a one-man issue. It doesn't belong to an individual. It belongs to everybody. So ownership of this country is for everybody, despite differences in the political understanding or aspirations. But Zimbabwe is a country that belongs to Zimbabweans. But what they've done for themselves so far since independence, it's not little. It's much. We have achieved to bring back the land to the people. We have achieved at least to have a government, and a sound one after removing Mugabe.